everyone. Thanks so much for joining the Play breakout session at Discover Technata, powered by the Ottawa Senators and the Brookstreet Hotel. Really excited to chat with you guys about some of the fun things happening right here in Kanata North. And so maybe we can kick this off with just a few introductions, maybe starting off with you, Anthony.
Sure. Thanks for the invite. Glad to meet with everyone virtually. My name's Anthony LeBlanc. I'm the president of business operations and alternate governor of the Ottawa Senators Hockey Club, and just coming up on my 1-year anniversary. So it means I've spent the entire time in my tenure in COVID trying to run a hockey team with no fans in the building. So lots of fun. Looking forward to talking to you about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Mark Nisbet. I'm the director of sales and marketing for the Brookstreet Hotel and the Marshe Golf Club here in Ottawa.
Hi everybody, I'm Niall Kelly. I'm the general manager of the Brookstreet Hotel and the Marshe Golf Club here in Kanata North. I've been here more than 1 year. I've been here since we opened back in 2003.
Amazing. So happy to have you all here. So maybe to start things off, can you tell us a little bit about the partnership between the Ottawa Senators and the Brookstreet? We want all of the insider intel.
Okay, so maybe I'll start here. We've been a partner with the Ottawa Senators since very early on when we opened the hotel. It's been an extremely important partnership for us over the years, and a lot of opportunities to cross-market to our guests and our customers. A couple of years ago, we entered into a new agreement with a lot more exposure for both the Senators and for the Brookstreet Hotel. We now have a Brookstreet Lounge at the facility where guests can come and have a very unique experience with unique programming for dinners, where we have our chefs come on site and do special events, and just overall enhancing that relationship between both the Brookstreet and the Marshes. That's been really, really important for us.
Yeah, and I'll layer in, the Brookstreet Lounge is a very important part of the premium experience for some of our, higher end customers that are in our club seats. They have access to that facility, but it's not just the access and the facility itself. It's a partnership that, for example, bringing in some of the chefs from the world-renowned restaurant on premises at the Brookstreet. And interestingly, this year, of course, has been a virtual year. And if you watched either the draft lottery or, more importantly, the actual draft, those were actually filmed within the Brookstreet Lounge because it's one of our best spaces within the building. So it's been a wonderful relationship that also crosses over to our foundation, where we utilize the Marshe golf course for our annual golf tournament, as well as a variety of other events. We come out of COVID and look to raise more money through our foundation. We'll be looking for that the relationship with Brookstreet more than ever.
Amazing. So question for the Brookstreet team, do all of the visiting teams stay at the Brookstreet? And if so, what is it like to handle such high profile guests?
We definitely, with our relationship with the National Hockey League and the Ottawa Senators, definitely do, for years during different seasons, have hosted a variety of different teams, and definitely it's exciting. Specifically, COVID times are a little bit different with respect to the protocols and everything that need to be met in order to keep our employees, as well as the players and the teams safe at all times. So definitely a bit interesting this year, but very excited to get back to a sense of normalcy, I guess, once the vaccines and such come, because we with our relationship, we definitely do look to forward to a great new season with fans in the stands again, which can entertain our guests and all of our different activations and activities.
And that actually leads into another question for Anthony. It must have been very unique to start your your career with the Sens during COVID. But we're really excited to see such a young and talented team on the ice this year with the Sens. What would you say has been the biggest challenge for the Sens during COVID? And I guess what would you be most excited about for the year ahead?
So it's a twofold thing. I mean, you mentioned the fact that we don't have fans in the building, and that's obviously been the biggest challenge from a revenue perspective for the hockey club, but also from a player perspective. We obviously talk to the players, and I've talked to some ex-players or former players like Chris Phillips, who's a strong part of the executive director of our foundation, And he said he couldn't imagine playing without fans in the building. So kudos go out to the players for being able to, get up for the game, so to speak. But, what's been a real challenge is obviously the first and foremost concern is the health and safety of everyone involved in the current playing of games without fans in the building. And it's quite striking. While we're not in an official bubble like we were this past summer in Edmonton and Toronto, it is essentially a mini bubble, and the guys from the Brookstreet can talk about how that translates over to their facility as well. But to put it into context, I'm president of business operations at the company, and I can't interact with the players. I can't interact with our general manager, our coach. They're all within their own confined group, and they can only interact with each other. So, keeping those very stringent COVID protocols to ensure the health and safety of our players and our team, visitors, referees, everything has, it's been a lot of work, but, to this point, it's actually worked well. The biggest challenge for next season is how do we bring fans back confidently? And, our owner, Eugene Melnick, has made it very clear to me, we are not to bring back fans until we know we are not going to become a so-called super spreader. So I'm very encouraged in the last couple of weeks with the number of vaccinations increasing and talk of the fact that, through the summer, we should see the majority of the country vaccinated. That bodes very well for the NHL season next year. I'm optimistic that we'll get back to the point that hopefully by the time we start next season in the fall of this year, that if we're not a full building, we're at least close to a full building. But we're also going to have to re-examine how the fan experience is at the building, because even once we're all vaccinated, this is going to carry on with us in regards to how we interact. Are we going to continue masking? How are we going to go about food and beverage? Things along those lines are all of the aspects we're working on right now.
I know I probably speak for everyone. I cannot wait to get back to the CTC and actually watch a game. So definitely excited to get back in the arena. Circling back a little bit to the partnership that you guys have together, Niall and Mark, how important do you feel partnerships like this one are to your business?
They're extremely important to our business. It's not just about the partnership and leveraging those two organizations. It's also about the community. And Anthony spoke to it a little bit earlier in regards to the Senators Foundation and giving back and helping our community. But all these relationships are very, very important. And we look forward to more normal times when we can start to activate some of those events and some of the really cool things that we do here in Kanata North. One of the things that we do every year, typically, we didn't do it in 2020, unfortunately, is our annual Lumiere event. And it's a fantastic networking event, but it also provides a lot of funds back to our community. And we are a partner with the Senators Foundation over the next 4 years on that specific event. And there's other, really neat events that we host in regards to the Senators Alumni Golf Tournament, which also some of those funds go back to the Senators Foundation, and then their annual golf tournaments. So these are all really, really fun things to do for us here in Kanata North. And we have the facility here to do all of those things, from golf and spa and hotel rooms and all of those things. So it's really important to maintain these relationships.
Yeah, and I'll layer in real quick that in particular this season, the Brookstreet has really been the home away from home for so many of our players. Certainly players that are called up for the NHL club, but a lot of people probably don't realize that our American Hockey League franchise that is usually located in Belleville is actually playing at CTC this year, and they're housed at Brookstreet. So it really is, it's not their home away from home, it's their home. So it's, it just shows just a very tight-knit connection between the two organizations. And obviously we're not alone in the NHL, as was mentioned. A number of the visiting teams, and I can say this as a former member of the Arizona Coyotes executive, that when we come to Ottawa, the Brookstreet was our destination. We're always treated just first class. Can't say anything but good things about the relationship.
Fantastic. Thanks, Anthony.
Anthony, other than hockey, could you maybe speak to a little bit more information about the Sens organization, some of the events that you guys run? And we've heard that live concerts will be more popular than ever post-COVID. Can you give us a little bit of a scoop of any artists that might be coming, or anything that we can look forward to when this is all over?
Well, and I'll say a few things, but then I'm looking forward to hearing some stories from Mark about the artists that come to the hotel. Look, it's no secret that the The touring business, like the sports business, was shut down, and the touring business continues to be shut down. But we work very closely, in particular with Live Nation, which is the largest booking agent in the world for concert live events. And we are being assured that the touring season, once we do get back to live acts, which we're all hoping is sometime in the fall, is going to be the most robust we've ever seen. And the reason for that's pretty easy. At that point, it'll be close to 18 months since the majority of these touring acts have had the opportunity to be on the road. So they're, a lot of these folks, they have to work. This is their job. The record business or the music business has changed so dramatically, where in the past it was all about selling records. I'm aging myself saying those things. Records for you young folk are these large circular discs that you would put a needle on, that has been replaced now by streaming. But because of that streaming world, these folks have to tour. And I know that we had a number of acts on the books that got postponed, folks like Justin Bieber. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that were, I'm just blanking, but I can guarantee you that once we get back to touring, the building is going to be coming. It's going to have just, and look, this building has always done particularly well. I'm just reflecting back myself, some of the acts I've seen in the building, Bruce Springsteen, U2, The Police, some great acts. I can't wait to see what's going to be coming in the next couple of years. So tell us some stories.
I'll jump in maybe with a couple. You have to remember that I have to save a lot of these stories for my book that I will put out at some point as a lifelong hotelier. But definitely, Brookstreet, Hotel has been host over the years to many, special groups and acts, and especially keying in on the, on the acts from the CTC over the years. The ability, for a hotelier like me to personally meet Oprah Winfrey, to ride the elevator with Garth Brooks, to probably one of our most interesting stories is trying to figure out a secure area where we could, host Carrie Underwood's portable gym when she played at the CTC years ago. Was actually a 60-foot trailer type thing, all outfitted with unbelievable equipment. And even right down to the band One Direction, who, again, I'm aging myself, but many of you in the crowd will know One Direction. And I didn't realize how many fans, that they had the day that they stayed. I think we had 400 or 500 people out front of the hotel, just, kind of screaming up at the windows type thing. So there's definitely lots of action around the hotel in combination with our events and concerts. And one of the reasons that Brookstreet is chosen is because we are a safe and secure event, and have lots of experience with higher end groups and managing their expectations, and that's what we do best.
I can only imagine the crowd for One Direction. Have you gone back and listened to any of their songs now that you know who they are?
I definitely have, and now I'm getting a little bit more schooled, and I think that I learn every time with new groups that come to the hotel. And another interesting thing about that group is most groups that come to the hotel will have what we call riders. So there are different things that they expect in their guest rooms. And that was another thing, One Direction, I'd never heard of a diptych candle. And searching around the city for what it was, we finally found them at Nordstrom's. And after the group left, they didn't actually use them. So we got to kind of auction off to our staff diptych candles that were in the same room as One Direction. So there you go.
All that work to learn what they are and to find them, all for nothing. Niall, I heard there's a Bob Dylan story. Are we allowed to share that one?
I'm not sure if anybody in the audience would know who Bob Dylan is yet at this point. But I do have a little funny story to share there. So Bob Dylan's crew was checking in one evening, late at night, so it must have been after another show, or they were coming in from a distance. And they parked their bus right in front of the hotel. Now, we have a porte cochere that's kind of low. We don't like buses to be in that area, so the crew buses are typically parked next to the property. And so our night audit agent, who was maybe 21 years old at the time, went outside and he saw the bus driver standing outside the bus and said, "Excuse me, sir, you can't park your bus here. You have to move it over to the side." And the guy said, "I'm not the bus driver." It was actually Bob Dylan. So for weeks after, we had pictures and posters throughout the hotel and saying, a picture of Bob Dylan was saying, "This is not a bus driver." So it was just kind of a funny little story.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I bet he was kicking himself.
Yeah, I'm sure, I might have happened before. He kind of looked like he could have been the bus driver, though. That's the funny thing.
Oh, so funny. Okay, getting back on track here. Last question I have for you guys, unless Anthony, you have another funny anecdote that you want to.
No, nothing that I can share.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Finally, for all the students who are listening in today, I'd love to hear from you guys why you think they should consider a career in Kanata North.
I'll start with this one. Kanata North, I moved here in 2003, and I've watched it go through some ups and some downs, but the one consistent thing is that it's been growing and growing, and it's become more diverse as far as the organizations that are here in Kanata North. Certainly there's a focus on 5G and the technology that supports that, but there's a larger ecosystem supporting Kanata North. And lots more amenities have come into the park in that time. Obviously, we opened the hotel in 03, full service luxury hotel, golf course, spa, all of those things, restaurants. And the residential area too has grown up so much more over the last few years. And as that happens, more retail, more amenities will be coming into the park. One of the things that we're working on right now is a 28-story luxury high-rise residential building with a pool on top and a restaurant overlooking the Marshe's golf course, the Ottawa River, and the Gatineau Hills. So really some exciting stuff coming around the corner in that regard. And we're trying to create more of a couple of central hubs here in Kanata North too, that will again create that community environment and start to mix the work, play, getaway into the picture a little bit more in regards to creating a community here. But it's really grown so much over the last 18 years. It's been fun to watch, and it will continue to do so once we kind of move through this COVID times and business gets really back and booming again, and the demand for more commercial real estate is there.
Yeah, and I'll just, first off, I'll age myself. I moved to Ottawa 25 years ago, which happened to be the year that the Canadian Tire Centre, then the Palladium, then the Corel Centre, then Scotiabank Arena, or Scotiabank Place, opened. And I actually came here with Corel Corporation. And it was, you'd go out to Kanata at that point, it was literally in the middle of the field, and there was nothing around it. And then over the years, I joined BlackBerry down in Waterloo, but was commuting from Ottawa, and you'd start to see the evolution of Kanata. And I mean, now it really, obviously it's part of the Ottawa region, but it's its own standalone area. It's a phenomenal place to live, to work, and to play. And it really has come into its own. And so I think, first off, Niall, when you're going on sale with that new condo building, please call me. That sounds like a great place to look at. But no, I as someone who came from 15 years in the tech business, it really is one of the preeminent locations globally to work, play, and to raise a family.
Awesome. I'm really excited to see what the future has in store for us. But Mark, anything you want to add about life in Kanata North?
No, I think that they both hit all the points. The only thing to add is that when we conceived the hotel and opening, that is our tagline and still is today: work, play, get away. And we feel that Kanata, there's no better place than Kanata North to be able to experience all of that, and to start a career with over 500 tech companies in our ecosystem. It's a great place to be.
Amazing. I'm biased, but obviously I couldn't agree more. So with that, our session is sadly coming to an end, but thank you all so much for being here. It was great to chat with you. Students, if you do want to learn a little bit more about the Sens and the Brookstreet, you can head over to their sponsorship pages. But thanks so much, guys.
All right. Thanks, Julia.